Hello, my name is Abdurahman Abdulhadi. I did research on post-disaster impacts on essential structures, in this case, it being bridges for the freight analysis framework in Shelby County. And I did my research under Dr. Charles V. Camp at the University of Memphis. So the purpose of this project is to ensure that as freight traffic is able to travel efficiently through the Shelby County region post-disaster of an earthquake due to the New Madrid fault. So we looked at earthquakes at 6.5 and 7.7 magnitude earthquakes. And the reason we would want to look at it at traffic flowing efficiently is because if I was on the West Coast, I would want my package to arrive to me on time, no matter what occurs in the middle of the United States. So the process of our project was we updated the Jesus bridge inventory and we expanded the Memphis Metropolitan Freight Analysis Framework. And once we did this, we assessed post-disaster scenarios, which then could be used for post-disaster mitigation planning. So this would make the freight analysis framework more resilient to an earthquake and its effects. So the process of our project was we took the original network, did pre and post-disaster analysis, and then we modified the network and then did pre and post-disaster analysis. And for our analysis, we used several different softwares. First one being Jesus, which helped us determine the probability of the certain type of damage. And we then also used ArcMap, MATLAB, and an independent program, which all these last three ones helped us plot and develop the traffic flows for the Shelby County area for pre and post-disaster analysis. So prior to me starting on this project, there had been work done, and the person prior to me had completed taking the freight analysis framework from the Federal Highway Administration, combining it with Jesus bridge inventory and making sure that the bridge inventory data and the freight analysis framework overlapped and intertwined correctly and had no flaws, essentially. So the original network had 8 origins from the east going through Shelby County, reaching to the 2 destinations over the Mississippi River, those 2 bridges. And the reason we wanted to emphasize or look at the through Shelby County is because if you have to detour around Shelby County, then the nearest 2 bridges are pretty far away and don't handle as much as capacity as the Shelby County as a whole will if you get through Shelby County and get to those 2 bridges. And the bridge north of us is a 4-lane bridge, and it's about 100 miles away. And it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours away. And the southern bridge is only a 2-lane bridge, and it takes about an hour to get over there. So either way, you have to make a detour, so that's time increasing on your route. And then even if you get to those other bridges, you might end up having to wait even longer because the capacity isn't the same amount as it is in the Shelby County area. So for the original network, this was the traffic flow for the original network pre-disaster. And then for the original network, this was the traffic flow post-disaster. The areas that are circled are the areas where traffic was reduced. And this is where we try to focus our modifications for the freight analysis framework. And this was post-disaster traffic for a 7.7 magnitude earthquake. So the first modification we did was an addition modification, which is basically what it sounds like. An addition route or link was added to the frame analysis framework. Second one was a bridge bypass. So essentially, if the bridge was collapsed then traffic would still be able to utilize that route, but the capacity would decrease or reduce significantly because the on and off ramps wouldn't be able to handle as much as just the overpass would. And then also the third modification was a correction modification. So if the route or routes in the freight analysis framework didn't actually represent what was in reality or how routes actually ran, then we would correct that and make it more representative of what actually was there. Third one was an extension. If it was a dead end and it actually wasn't dead end in reality, then we would represent this and extend the route to where it actually ended dead. It was an end route or connected to other routes. And then once all these modifications were complete, then we once all these modifications were complete, we did further analysis. But as you can see, all the additions and modifications were primarily focused on where the reduced traffic flows were caused in the original network. So once the analysis was complete on the bridges, we noticed that there were 6 bridges that had complete probability of 10% or more of complete damage. And there were 4 different kinds of damage categories: slight, moderate, extensive, and complete. And those 6 bridges, when we further looked into it, we noticed that those bridges were built in the mid 1960s or older. So this just reiterates that the infrastructure in the United States is deteriorating and needs to be updated. I would like to thank Dr. Charles V. Camp, my professor, FedEx Institute of Technology, Intermodal Freight Transportation Institute, Earth College of Engineering, University of Memphis TLSAMP family, David Opong, Carlos Wells, Ms. Harrison, Dr. Dean Swiger. Thank you for your time.